Hello, I'm in Dachani. I'm going to present an introduction to optical burst switching. The telecommunication network or system consists of basically transmission subsystem and switching subsystem. And this switching system enables connectivity between geographically separated entities. Optical networks are used inevitably as backbone networks to provide global connectivity because of its vast bandwidth and reliable nature. The present day optical networks uses optical circuit switching technology, which is also called wavelength routing. In wavelength routing, a light path is established between the source and the destination before data transmission. And this light path refers to a dedicated wavelength allocated for the entire duration of the call or transmission. This type of switching is inefficient in terms of utilizing the wavelength, particularly when the traffic is bursty or dynamically changing in nature. Another drawback of this system is the setup time of a light path may be tens of milliseconds in a nationwide backbone network, which is too long for a burst containing only a few packets, because the transmission time is going to be negligibly smaller compared to this setup time. Naturally, the efficient switching methodology for packet traffic or bursty traffic is actually optical packet switching. However, optical packet switching is likely to be infeasible in the near future due to present day's technological constraint. The two major issues among other problems in OPS are the requirement for very fast switches capable of switching in nanoseconds time, and another one, it requires optical memory which is equivalent to the electronic RAM, which is not available actually. The only possibility is usage of the fiber itself as optical memory, which is called fiber delay lines. And even to store or delay for few milliseconds of a typical IP packet in the range of thousands of bytes, it's going to require kilometers of fiber. Optical burst switching. In optical burst switching, the major processes involved are burst assembly, resource reservation, burst transmission, and resource termination. This burst assembly refers to the aggregation of packets into a single burst. In packet switching, every packet which is containing the payload or actual information is tagged with the control information. So every packet will have its associated control information required for establishing the connection along with the packet. So this light blue color refers to the control information, and the dark blue shows the payload or actual data to be transmitted. In case of packet switching, at the intermediate node, this packet will be delayed or stored for processing, and this processing involves separating this header information, converting it to electronic domain, and processing it to identify the route, and accordingly then the switch will be reconfigured to establish this connection. And during this process, the payload portion or data has to wait at the input port or stored in a buffer. At the output port, again the data or payload will be combined with its modified header information, converted to optical form and then transmitted. So in case of burst switching, number of such packets, like tens or hundreds of packets which are destined to a common destination, will be combined together to form a single burst. And this control information required to establish the connection or route the packet or burst is separated from the payload. So you can see this burst, relatively larger size compared to a single packet, even more larger, not up to the scale. And this light blue portion refers to the control information which is not linked or attached to the payload. So this separation is actually the key reason behind OBS, why it is proposed as an interim solution. So as I told, in case of packet switching, the payload has to wait or buffer when the header is being processed at the node, and this buffering requires kilometers of fiber lines to have buffering in optical domain. So this is one of the major problems, because there are at present no efficient optical memory equivalent to electronic RAM. So the basic concept behind optical burst switching is separation of data and signaling, that is the control information planes. And this burst header packet, which contains the signaling information required for connection establishment, is sent ahead of the data burst. This is made so that the resource reservation or configuration of the switches in the intermediate nodes can be done in electronic domain by processing this header packet, and later on the data burst follows the burst header packet after a finite offset time. So we can understand this offset time better by seeing this diagram. So this picture shows a schematic representation of a simple communication network, and let us assume this user node A is the source node and D is the destination node. You can observe this arrow marks. The dark red color represents the control packet, and the blue one the actual payload, which is in optical domain. This control packet is traveling in a separate channel ahead of the data burst, and the separation in time between the control packet and burst is called offset time. So here we can observe the intermediate nodes represented as switches or routers, and this OEO represents optical, electrical, and then again optical conversion, and OOO refers to pure optical domain, optical. There is no conversion in between, which actually leads to a larger delay. This conversion results in additional delay. So this offset time we can observe between the data and the control packet. The C represents the control packet, and between the data burst and control packet, initially the offset time is set to capital T. Once the control packet is getting processed by this particular node 1, due to this processing delay and switch reconfiguration delay, let us assume this to be delta. After this node, if you observe the offset time or difference in time between the control packet and its corresponding data is now reduced by T minus del. So the same thing happens at every intermediate node, and you can observe after the second node the difference will be reduced by 2 delta. So accordingly, when it reaches the destination, we have to ensure that enough separation is there between the control packet and its data in order for reconfiguration of the switch, so that there may not be any overlap of or missing of data. So this is the basic concept behind burst switching. So in optical burst switching, the basic concept behind optical burst switching is separation of data and control planes by an offset time, which enables a bufferless optical switching technology, which is also going to utilize the resources or channel efficiently compared to optical circuit switching. Since the data is traveling in the optical domain without any delay or processing at nodes, we don't require any optical fibers for storing or delaying. So this avoids the requirement for buffering. So that is one of the main advantages of optical burst switching. So other issues are synchronization and faster switching. And another advantage is, if you compare the size of the packet and burst, the ratio between the overhead or control information and the payload, you can observe there's a vast difference now. So this is also under improvement. So we have seen the basic concept behind optical burst switching or OBS, which is an optical switching technology. Time now for checking our understanding. It's a small question. OBS is envisioned as suitable technology for future optical internet, since it is better than OCS in terms of utilization, capable of operating with today's technological constraints, since it is not possible to realize OPS in near future. Let us check the answer. If we are ready with the answer, we can check. Answer: all three are correct. So if you have answered it correctly, you have understood the concept correctly. Thank you for listening.